Hello, it's Alex, the Bookubus. Today I'm doing a tag video. It is the horrors of social media tag, and it was created by John over at Books of Blood. Of course, I will leave his video linked below, so definitely go check that out if you haven't already. And he also tagged me to do this, so thank you, John. And Regina over at Regina's Haunted Library also tagged me, so thank you, Regina. I will leave her video linked below as well. So question 1 is related to Facebook. Which horror character would you be most likely to accept a friend request from? And I'm going to go with any of the girls from the Slumber Party Massacre films, because they just all seem really cool and really fun, and I just really miss having sleepovers. I call them sleepovers, you might call them slumber parties, same thing, but yeah, if any of them were to send me a friend request, I would definitely accept, in the hopes that I would be invited to a slumber party. And yeah, while all of the girls might not survive the night, hopefully it would still be a good time. And which horror character would I be least likely to accept a friend request from? And that's got to be the Woman in Black, specifically from the 80s film version, because she's absolutely terrifying. And yeah, I think if I were to receive a friend request from her, I would just immediately delete Facebook at that point. I think you just don't want to be getting engaged with her in any way. The next questions are related to Instagram. Which horror character would you be most likely to follow? And I'm going with like a horror adjacent answer here, but I'm going with Detroit from Sorry to Bother You, because she's just like one of the coolest people on the planet and I think she would have a lot to say. And honestly, now that I'm saying it, I think she's probably too cool for Instagram, but if she were to have one, I would 100% follow, because she's a total badass and super creative and just generally amazing. And which horror character would I be least likely to follow on Instagram? And I think I'm going to go with Jennings from The Omen, because, I mean, some of his photos would be fine, but then every so often you'd get one with like this black mark creeping in, and you would just know that whoever was in that photo wasn't going to be long for this world. And I mean, maybe that would be helpful for some people, but I'd just rather not know. So I would probably avoid his Instagram account. Now moving on to Twitter, and which horror character would have the best tweets. And I'm going to go with the girls from Tragedy Girls. They are obsessed with true crime and horror, and yeah, while hopefully they won't go too far in orchestrating things for their account, I think their tweets would be a lot of fun, because there'd be lots of horror references, and yeah, what's not to like about that? And which horror character would have the worst tweets? And I'm gonna go with Carrie's mum from Carrie. I just don't need that kind of religious fanaticism in my life. Fair enough, if you're religious, that's fine, but when it gets to the point of you trying to ram it down other people's throats, I'm not into it. So I don't think I would be following her on Twitter. Next up is YouTube, and which horror character would you be most likely to subscribe to? And I'm going with a group of characters here rather than just one, but it is the crew from One Cut of the Dead, because that film was so fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's a zombie film, but it's very unique in the way that it's filmed. It's super creative and so well done, and it just gets better and better as the film goes on, if that is even possible. Yeah, super creative. So if they were to ever have a YouTube channel and be putting out stuff like that every week or whatever, yeah, I would be there for that. And which horror character would I be least likely to subscribe to? That's got to be Joseph from Creep, because yeah, just obvious reasons. He's super creepy, and yeah, his videos would just be weird, and yeah, I don't want to get involved with that, thank you very much. Next is Tinder, and which horror character would you be most likely to swipe right for? I would definitely swipe right for Michael J. Fox in Teen Wolf, because I definitely had a big crush on him back in the day, both as Michael J. Fox and as the wolf. I mean, that's normal, right? And which horror character would I swipe left for? And that's got to be David Boreanaz in Valentine. I mean, he's a very handsome fellow, but a little bit crazy. You know, he's definitely the kind of person to hold a grudge. He wouldn't forgive or forget. So I think it's just best to stay away from him. And the last question is TikTok. Which horror character would have the most annoying TikToks? And I think it would be the kid from the Babadook, because he was super annoying, and I guess he would probably be a teenager now, so like prime TikTok content creator, and I'm sure he's just as an annoying teenager as he was an annoying child. So yeah, no thank you. So those were all of the questions. This is a really fun tag. Thank you again, John, for creating it and for tagging me, and thanks Regina for tagging me too. Really appreciate it. I'm not going to tag anyone in particular because I've already seen quite a few people do this, but if you haven't done this tag and you would like to, then consider yourself tagged. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you again in my next video. Bye!